Very good morning, students. For this lecturing video session, I am going to solve a problem from the unit 3, which is projections of solids. Let me just read out the question and extract as much as information which is given in the question. A hexagonal prism of side base 25 mm and axis 50 mm long rests with one of its base corners on HP, such that its axis make an angle of 30 degree to HP and its axis is parallel to VP. Draw its projections. So given data. Here the object is a hexagonal prism. So object is a hexagonal prism. Of side 25 mm, and axis height 50 mm long. Axis height, in short I just mentioning AH, that is axis height or altitude or length or long. So this words reflects, that means that's the axis height, that is 50 mm, 50. With one of its base corner, how it is resting? With one of the base corner on HP. Where it is resting? It should be resting on HP with one of the resting. Where it is resting? It is resting on HP with base corners, that is one of the corner. Right? Such that its axis makes an angle of 30 degree to HP. So the axis inclination, axis is inclined to HP of 30 degree. Draw its projections. So this is the object, right? The prism is named according to the shape. That's a base, shape of the base, right? Here, look at here, the top face and bottom face has hexagonal shape. So therefore this is a hexagonal prism. How it is resting? It is resting on HP with one of the corner. What is the corner? Corner is nothing but the intersection of edges. These are edges. So look at here, this edge and this edge intersect one point, this is corner. Right? So this is edge, this is also an edge. So these two edges are intersecting one point, that is the corner. How it is resting? With one of the corner. So this is what? The condition should be kept on the right hand side. Right? Similar, the same manner of the plane surfaces, projection of plane surfaces, where the condition we used to keep on the right hand side. Similarly, for projection of solid also, the condition, if it is resting with one of the side, then side should kept on the right hand side. If it is resting one of the corner, then the corner should be kept on the right hand side. So it is resting on corner. Look at here, this is how it is inclined. So this makes 30 degree with HP. This is the final position. Right? So where I could see the true shape, that is a hexagon. From the top I can't see, from the front I can't see, from the side also I can't see the hexagonal shape, that is true shape. Right? In that scenario, the method which we use is nothing but the change of position method. So in that scenario, first we assume the axis is perpendicular to one of the plane. Here the axis is inclined to HP, right? So if I make that axis 90 degree, now I could see the true shape from the top. This true shape will fall on HP, therefore I will have to start the diagram on HP. This is the final position. In order to get the true shape, the axis should be perpendicular to any one of the plane, whether it could be HP or VP. But here the angle is 30 degree, the axis inclination is 30 degree. Therefore, in order to make the axis perpendicular, this is how. So now where you could see the true shape. Looking from the front, you could see the rectangular faces. Looking from the top, I could see the hexagonal shape. So, I'll have to start the diagram on HP. On HP. Right? So, let me just draw a line represents X, Y, which is nothing but the reference line or ground line. Above XY is VP, below is HP. So, there will be two stages, right? In the introduction video, I taught you that two stages. The first stage is for simple position or simple resting. Here, the axis should be perpendicular to any one of the plane. There you will get the true shape. Stage 2, this is for the axis inclination. Axis inclination. Right? Here the axis is inclined to HP, therefore I make it perpendicular. Now the axis is perpendicular to HP, therefore first diagram should be on HP. Right? What is the condition? It's resting on HP with one of the corner. So corner should come here on the right hand side. So in that case, what I have to do is, I have to draw a line parallel to XY of side 25 mm. Of side 25 mm. You know the procedure how to draw the hexagon. I taught you in the previous unit projections of planes, right? So again I just tell you how to draw it. This length is 25 mm of side. Take 25 mm in your compass. Keep it at one extreme point and cut an arc. Similarly, keep it at the next extreme point, cut an arc. Now this is the center. Without changing the radius, keep the compass on this point, the center point, and draw a circle. Draw a circle. Right? Now, without changing the radius, as 25, keeping at this extreme point, cut an arc. And without changing it, cut an arc. Just keep cutting the arc on the periphery of the circle. Now connect all by using scale and pencil. Right? By connecting all the corners, you will get the shape of the hexagon. So the circle should be very thin. Okay? Circle should be very thin, and the object, here the object is a hexagonal shape, that should be drawn as dark by using HB pencil. Right? So look at here. This is how the object is resting. When I look at from the top, I could see the hexagon. Right? Now, this top face, when I look at from the top, I could see the top face. A, B, C, D, E. Right? So let me just give the naming for here. A, B, C, D, E, F. It has the same shape in the bottom also. Yeah? Same shape and size in the bottom also. Right? Which those corners are invisible. Right? So those corners were invisible. So let me just take P dash starts from P. P dash is invisible. Q dash, R dash, S dash, T dash, and P, Q, R, S, T, and U. Sorry, not dash, because it's a top view, so doesn't carry any notation of dash, right? So only the front view carries the notation of dash. Now, in order to get the front view, allow to project all the corners vertically upwards. Vertically upwards. It should be perpendicular to the XY line. Vertically upwards. And the BQ and FU will pass on the same line. Similarly, CR and ET will be on the same line. Right? And D, extend it. Now, The axis height is 50 mm, isn't it? Axis height is 50 mm. So where is the axis? Easy to draw. So connect the diagonal. Connect the diagonal. So now get the intersection point. Now project is vertically upwards. Very thin line. So how to represent the axis? Long line, dot, long line, dot, long line, dot and long line. So in this manner you will have to specify the axis. Now take 50 mm in your scale from the XY line and either arc or whatever, cut it here. Now draw a line. So now this is the axis height of the object. Now darken the boundary, because boundary would be always visible, therefore darken the thing, right? Darken the boundary. So practically you will not have this object in front of you. So as being an engineer, you should have the imagination power, assuming that this object is in front of you. When the object is in this manner, when you just look at from the front, you could see the longer edges, this one, this one and this one and this one. So these two has already been captured in the boundary. What about this rectangular face or lateral face or parallel face, which would be visible, right? So just draw a dark line. Draw dark line. Clear? So now look at here. This would be seen as a straight line and this longer edges would be visible, which I have captured here. Now I need to give the naming for this. Top face as considers A, B, C, D, E, F and bottom face P, Q, R, S, T, U. When you look at from the front, I could see these points. When you look at here, what are the things would be visible? A, B, C, D. For the top base I am talking about. A, B, C, D are visible. E and F are invisible. Right? So top base is in the top. So this needs to be captured here. A dash, B dash, this C dash and D. When you look at from here, these are the four corners would be visible. I have captured here. What about E and F? E and F are right behind the point C and B. Therefore, these two are invisible. So E is right behind C. Therefore, open up a bracket and mention it. F is right behind B. Therefore, mention it here. Right. Similarly, for the bottom base, P, Q, R, S are visible. So mention it here. P dash, Q dash, R dash and S dash are visible. P, Q, R, S are visible and T and U are invisible because T is right behind R, U is right behind Q. Right. So therefore, U and F are invisible. U dash within the bracket and T dash within the brackets. Right. So this is the simple resting position or simple position. Now the axis is inclined at an angle of, so assume this is axis. This axis is inclined at an angle of 30 degree with HP. So this makes an angle of 30 degree. This is what the final front view and top view we need to draw. This stage 2 pertains to axis inclination or final position. So now this axis needs to be tilted at an angle of 30 degree. Look at the longer edge here, the DS, which is parallel to axis. So by tilting the SD, that is the longer edge, this axis will also get inclined, right? So let me just choose a point here. Right? And keep your protractor in this manner. Take 30 degree. Now draw a line. Extend this line. Right? Now This S point is here, right? Now this S point is here. So this becomes S1 dash. S is resting, right? Look at here, S is resting, right? Here the S is resting, here S is resting. Measure the distance between S and D in your compass, keeping at S, cut an arc. And this becomes D1 dash. I have tilted this SD line because SD is, this longer edge is parallel to the axis. Therefore, by tilting the longer edge, this axis will also tilted at an angle of 30 degree. Now, look at here, this longer edge which is perpendicular, that is 90 degree, right? So, take 90 degree, keep your protractor in this manner, take 90 degree and draw a line, thin line, draw a thin line. This base, this base is perpendicular to the longer edge. The longer edge has already been tilted at an angle of 30 degree, right? This has already been tilted at an angle of 30 degree. This is making perpendicular, therefore taken 90 degree line here, extend this line. Now measure the distance between P and S in your compass, keeping at S, cut an arc. So now this becomes P1 dash, right? Now look at here. This is also 90, everything is also 90. So what I am going to do is measure the distance between P and A in your compass and keeping at P, cut an arc. Similarly, measure the distance between D and A in your compass, keeping at D, cut an arc. Right? Now connect this line. Now connect this. By doing so, this particular boundary, that is PADS, has been tilted. P, this opposite of this one is A1 dash. This has been tilted. What about the other longer edges? This RT, CE, QU, BF, that needs to be transferred there. This information needs to be transferred there with an inclination of 30 degree. Right? Measure it from S to R and cut an arc. This becomes R1 dash and T1 dash. Measure it from R to the axis, measure this axis and this is axis, right? Now measure it from P to Q, cut an arc. Now draw a parallel line to this inclined line, or else you have to measure it from this distance and cut it here, measure A to B and cut it here, measure A to center, cut it here. Now draw a line connecting this. Draw a line connecting this. Draw a thin line first. Draw a thin line initially. So if you go wrong, you can just erase that off and do amend it or correct it. Now this particular object has been tilted here. What I am going to do is now I am going to darken all the lines. Boundary, these are object lines. So by using H or HP pencil, just draw dark lines. Right? This portion has been tilted. Now transfer all the points here. This becomes Q1 dash and U1 dash. Next to A, that is B1 dash and F1 dash. Next, C1 dash and E1 dash, C1 dash and E1 dash, right? So in order to get the final top view, what you have to do is you have to do again the mapping work, graphing work, which you have followed in the projections of plane surfaces, right? So project the lines, take the vertical projectors vertically downwards, vertically downwards. All the points, from all the points, vertically downwards. Now from the initial top view, what you have to do is you have to extend the horizontal projectors. It should be very thin. You should use 2H pencil. So just erase the unwanted lines. Now look at here, got a box. So within this box only I am going to get the final top view of this projection, right? So for which, what I have to do is, I have to do the mapping work here. That means horizontal projectors and vertical projector would be intersecting at one point, right? That I need to plot it now. So A is here. Look at A, where A is. A and A are merged here. So this could be my A1. B point and B point are getting intersected here. This could be my B point. C and C are merged here. So this could be my C1. D and D are getting intersected here. So D. E and E are merged here. So this could be my E1. Right. Now F and F are getting intersected here. So this could be my F1. Now the top face has been marked. ABCD has been marked. Now let's come to the bottom base PQRS TU, right? So intersection point P and P are getting intersected here. This could be P1. Q and Q are getting intersected. This could be my Q1. R and R are getting intersected here. Now, yes, the horizontal projector and vertical projector are merging here. So this could be my S1. Right. Now T and T are merging here. So this could be my T1. Now U and U are getting intersected here. So U1. So all the points have been marked here. So there would be 12 points, right? 6 for the top face, 6 for the top face and 6 for the bottom face, which I have marked. So initially what you have to do is to draw the top view. Boundary should be closed. All the boundaries should be closed. So wherever points are there, you just close it. Now P to Q, now draw a line connecting all the points. So boundary would be visible. At any condition, boundary would be visible. So connect by using HRSP. So boundary would be visible. Now I need to do the mapping work by plotting the points. For which, let me just do the checklist here. So for which, top face is connector A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E, E to F, and it connected to F. Look at here. A, B, C, D, E, F, F to A. Right. Next, their base, that is a bottom base. Bottom base, which is connected with P, Q, R, S, T, U, and P. Next comes the edges, that is a longer edges. Longer edges. What are longer edges? Look at here. PA, which is a longer edge. So PA is 1. Next, QB is next. QB is next. QB. PA, QB. Next, PQR. R to C. So RC is next longer edges. Next, S to D. S to D is next longer edges. Next, T to E. T to E. That is within the bracket, right? So whatever visible, first I have captured here. That is PA, QB, RC, SD, up to here, visible longer edges. Now, next, invisible longer edges, TE, which I captured. Now, UF. These are longer edges. When the object is tilted at a certain angle, when I look at from the top, I could see the shape. That is a hexagon, skew shape of the hexagon. Right. So, all the corners would be visible. All the edges would be visible for me. So, top base, this is how the initially it has been tilted at 30 degree. When I look at from here, if the object is tilted at a certain angle, the top face would be always visible if the axis is inclined. So let me just connect all the lines. How it is connected? A to B, C to D, D to E, E to F, F to A, right? This is how it has been connected. This is how it is being connected. So I am going to connect all the lines. So A to B, B to C is already connected while connecting the boundary, right? C to D, D to E, E to F and F to A. Now I got a skewed shape of a hexagon when I look at from the top. Let me draw the bottom base here. Look at here. When I look at from the top, I could see only 3 points, right? What are they? P, U, Q are visible. By connecting the boundary, R and T would be visible, right? When I look at from here, rest all the corners are invisible. Therefore, this needs to be captured with dotted line. So invisible things needs to be captured in dotted line. I have already taught you in the first unit orthographic projection, right? Invisible edges or lines should be captured with dotted lines. So PQRS, that is, look at here, PQRS, P to Q, Q to R, R to S, S to T, T to U and U to P. So P to Q, R to S and S to T. Again it is dotted line. So now I have finished the top face and bottom base. I have finished. Now I have to see the longer edges. Longer edges. When the object is tilted in this position, I could see this longer edge, only 3 longer edges would be visible. Rest all 1, 2, 3 are invisible. What are the longer edges here? P to A. P to A, look at here, P to A is visible. Look at here, P to A is visible. So I can draw a line, P to A. Next comes Q to B. Q to B. Q to B is already covered in the while closing the boundary. So that is over. Now let's move to next one, RC. Look at here, RC is also covered in the boundary while closing the boundary. Let's move to the next longer edge, SD. SD. Look at here, SD is here. So SD is in the bottom, right? SD. S is resting and D is somewhere here. So which is invisible, right? So S is here and D is here, right? So first 3 things you have to remember is the priority. Priority should be given, initially first priority should be given for the object line. Object line, which is nothing but the thick line. Next, the dotted line. Dotted line, that is the invisible lines, right? Dotted line, first, second priority. Third priority should be given for the center line. These are the 3 priorities. So, S to D is invisible, but look at here, S to A, that is P to A is already thick line. So only this much area is left out in order to cover the dotted line. So you can just draw dotted line for this. Right. Now S2 is, then what about TE? TE is already covered while closing the boundary. That is done. Then what about next UF? UF is also covered while closing the boundary. So with this checklist, you can easily cross check. If you have missed out anything, you can easily cross check by this. With this, I have finished the drawing here. Next, what I have to do? I'll have to do the dimensioning here. So for dimensioning, let me just mention the side here. That is 25 mm, isn't it? 25 mm side. The arrow should be 3:1, that is 1:1 height, that is should be in this manner. 1 mm height, if it is 1 mm height, then it should be 3 mm width. So arrow should be filled in this manner. Arrow should be filled in this manner. Clear? Now next, the axis height. Either I can mark it here or mark it here. Since I have sufficient space here, so let me just mark it over here. Remember, the dimension should be always marked above the dimensioning line. It is 50 mm, so 50 mm, 50 mm. Next, what I have to do? I have to mark the axis inclination, which is 30 degree to HP. If you mark 30 degree here, which is incorrect, because here the longer edge is inclined 30 degree, it will show. So in that scenario, what you have to do is, you have to extend this. Extend this. Now mark this as 30 degree. 30 degree. Right? So with this, I have finished here. Next, what I have to do? I have to do the node within the guideline of 5 mm. I need to specify the dimension, whatever I consider. That is, all dimensions are in mm. All dimensions are in mm. Are in mm. Mm should be lowercase, that is small letter. So, I'll just give a hint for you all to draw the dotted line here. At what point it is resting? It is resting at S. So, whatever edges, that is longer edges or the corners which are connected to S will come as dotted line. Look at here, S2R and S2T and S2D. Look at here, S2T is dotted line, S2R is dotted line, next S2D is dotted line. So, it's very simple. Which are the edges or the corners which are connected to the resting point will come as dotted line. This is just for your understanding that, because see, as far as the student is concerned, you might not be having the object in front of you, that's solid. So it is only full and full assumption. The imagination power, with your imagination power only, you will have to draw the projection. With this, I think, hope you have all understood how to construct the projections of the hexagonal prism. Thank you.